Hi guys, JJ here. I'm going to sit here and do a quick Q&A session. If you have any questions, come into the chat room. I'll be reading it through here and answering any questions you guys have about my experiences and so forth in the house. This house has been pretty incredible since the moment we arrived. Last night we had activity pretty much continuously throughout the night. Last night was the first time for me ever using the Ouija board, so that experience was definitely interesting, being a part of that with Tim and the Gonsfeld. Also had one of the best spirit box sessions I've ever had with Scott and Dave, where we were getting full sentence responses coming through the spirit box, as well as EVPs we were catching on the recorder that were not coming through the spirit box. So we have a lot of different ideas about what's probably going on here, maybe going on at the house. We definitely feel like there's something negative, or maybe multiple negative things here, but there may also be some other spirits who are kind of trapped here. So anybody has any questions, go ahead and ask. I'd be happy to answer. Let's go to the Q&A link on the LiveSciFi YouTube channel. Just going back a little bit to talk about some other things that have happened while I was here. Since the second night we were here, I had this weird feeling. Just wasn't feeling like myself. Just kind of felt isolated and annoyed and just not myself, not my normal personality. And it just went to the point where I just felt like I couldn't be here anymore, and I did leave on Sunday to stay at a hotel for a night just to kind of recuperate and get back in the right mindset to come in here last night and investigate. And I did come back, and I confronted everything that had happened, and I felt very good about how things went last night. Looking at the questions here. It's a little bit delayed. But yeah, the experiences here have been pretty much unlike anything I've ever had happen at any other location. I've never felt like that. I've never been to a point where I felt like I needed to leave somewhere, and this place is just continually giving us something to look for, or something to try to investigate. Yeah, we also have our daily journals that we're writing for the site. You can follow our each investigator and see all of our experiences.
JJ, what's been your most terrifying experience here at the house so far?
Well, the thing that started it all were the hisses that Tim and I heard. I think that was just where the initial fear or whatever came into me, and I think that's when whatever's here kind of started to pick at me slowly. That hiss was just, I don't even know how to explain it. It was just terrifying.
What type of emotional state are you in right now?
Right now, I feel fine. I feel much better than I did Sunday when I decided to leave. I feel like myself again. I'm joking around. I'm having fun. I'm being aggressive and investigating. For the 2 days before that, even Tim pointed out that I didn't even want to take part in investigations, which is extremely odd for me, because I'm usually right there by Tim's side trying to provoke. And for those couple of days, all I wanted to do was like kind of sit there and not do much. Yes, I do always have my crucifix on. It was a gift from my dad, so it's very meaningful to me, and it's just something that I have faith in. So if you ever see me just grabbing at my necklace, that's just me trying to calm myself down and think positive thoughts. And I even have been sleeping with it at night. So it's something that I'd always have on.
So JJ, what we might have already talked about this, but what do you think what do you think happened to you to cause you to be put in that type of state? Do you think it was like a demonic oppression?
I think that's exactly what it was. I think something here realized that I had become, I guess you call it, spooked or whatever, and it started to play on my fears and insecurities and everything. And I felt
what is your number one insecurity?
I mean, it's just
what is the thing you're most terrified of?
I mean, for investigations, it's obviously something demonic trying to come inside and possess me.
But do you think like having your friends or family hurt by something is something that scares you most in life?
Yeah, absolutely. I would never want anything to happen to any of my friends or family. And I don't want them to be worried about me being in a location. So when I started feeling that feeling of not being myself, I even reached out to some of my friends to try to just like connect with somebody, because I didn't even want to be near any of the people here, and they're some of my best friends, and I just felt like I needed to be away and that's just not how I normally am. So it was just a extremely weird situation.
What finally snapped you out of it?
When I left Sunday, I had time to just separate myself from everything that was going on and just reflect back and turn to my faith and just renew my mindset that whatever's here, even if it is demonic, it can't harm me, it can't possess me or anything unless I choose to let it to, which I'm not going to do. So just a change in mindset really just reinvigorated me, and I wanted to come back and I wanted to confront everything that was here, and I felt like I was able to do that last night.
Aaron from Twitter asked, has the house had a lot of owners? And as in, do people usually stay there long?
From all the research that we have, a lot of people are here for a very short period of time. They're here 6 months, maybe less than that, just because whatever's here, just like it's been doing since we got here, all of the things that we've heard and seen and felt line up almost exactly with the documentation we have on the location, which is extremely interesting to all of us. From the sounds that Tim and I heard the first night, to the oppression that I felt, to just everything that we've had happen. Just it seems like it's progressing in the same way that it's done with previous owners, and they usually don't last very long. So we're going to be here a month, so let's see what happens. Somebody asked, have the entities spoken out loud to us? We've had a couple occasions when we first got here. The hiss I already talked about, and then Tim and I were in the basement and we heard a really creepy loud moan or growl. So they're definitely vocal. Ask if we're being messed with while we're sleeping. I think everybody's had something happen while they were sleeping. I know Tim's been touched a couple of times. Scotty had something set on his air mattress. I've heard full conversations and sound like people moving furniture upstairs while I was trying to sleep. And then Dave, the first night he got here, he was even creeped out, and he just kept looking at the kitchen like there was something in there looking back at him. So we're getting a little more acclimated to sleeping here, but yeah, everybody's had something happen. Somebody asked if the spirits know you and know your thoughts, then why provoke? They already know what you're doing. personally for me, I don't think they know our thoughts. They may be able to get a sense of what we're doing, but I don't think they can read our thoughts. That's just my opinion. I think that for me, only God can know what I'm truly thinking. So unless I explicitly state it, I don't feel like they're reading my mind. That's how I feel. So I think that's gonna do it for me. I think we're gonna go ahead and switch to probably Dave. Go ahead and do his. So it might take a minute to get everything switched around, but hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Had fun.
Hey, JJ, you can answer a couple more questions.
Oh, a couple more? Okay. Has it harmed previous tenants? Somebody wants to know. Yes. All the documentation we have is about the tenants who have had experiences and who have been eventually driven out of the house one way or the other. So yes, it has harmed tenants. Right now, somebody asked about my anxiety level. I feel fine. I feel like myself again. I feel back on a level plane. I don't feel like I'm being oppressed or anything right now. So I appreciate everybody's concerns. I know a lot of people were worried. So I appreciate that. But I think I'm back to me now. So let me ask you if this is my longest investigation. It will be by the time we're done. The previous one was when I helped out at the Sally house. I think we were there for 5 days total with setting up and shooting and everything. So Tim and I have already been here 5 days, so we'll be here way longer than that. And by the end of it, I have a feeling that we'll all be pretty drained and pretty tired, but I have a feeling we'll be pretty fulfilled with the type of evidence that we're going to capture. What was the vibe of the house when we got here? Somebody wants to know. It's always been a weird, creepy vibe, even when we first walked in. It's a really old place, and just walking around, you can tell that there's something weird here, and it's only continued to get weirder. Somebody wants to know if there's any hidden bodies in the house. That's one of the theories that we've talked about, that there may be some type of remains on the property, and that's what we were asking during the spirit box session last night. We don't know for sure. That's just something we threw out there. I have no idea, but it would make sense. So we have a metal detector and things like that. We're gonna try to see if we can find anything hidden while we're here. So we'll see. So asked, do you feel fear when you're communicating with an entity? Is it bad to have that feeling? Do they know that you have fear? I think they do know if you're fearful, and I think initially that's what happened to me, is that I allowed myself to show the fear and express it, the fact that I was freaked out, and it can play on that, and if you just let yourself come to that mindset and openly express it, then they know that they have you where they want you, and they can try to keep picking at you and eventually wear you down. Now I feel much stronger, and I don't feel like I'm going to allow myself to get into that mindset again, so I feel a lot better. Somebody wants to know if I enjoy this job, being here. Yes, absolutely. I love it. I've always wanted to be able to have an extended stay in a location where we could try out all the theories and different things that we want to. So you're gonna being able to be here for a month. Any ideas that we've ever had and wanted to try out, we're going to be able to do that. And I think it's going to produce some great evidence. From 1 to 10, how scary is the house? It's a 10. There's no question. I've been to a lot of the big places throughout the country, to the super haunts they call them, and nothing has even come close to this as far as as how scary it is. So looking at the questions now. Somebody wants to know, can we dress up as a priest and taunt the spirits? We brought a priest costume with us, yes. We also have a monk costume that I wore at the Sally house. So at some point, either myself or Scott, or maybe even Tim, will be dressing up as a priest and provoking the spirits. So they also asked if that was a good idea. Probably not, but hopefully it'll produce some good evidence. Somebody asked, is the house occupied? No, it's well, we're in it now, but there's not a family living in it. Let's see here. Do you think there's more one portal, or do you think there's more than one portal or vortex in the house? There's something, I don't know necessarily if it's a portal or a vortex, but there's something about these stairs. I know there's a high EMF because of the power box in the basement and everything, but it seems like a lot of the activity and things is tied to that area, and that's where we did that spirit box session last night and got some incredible responses. So I don't know if it's a portal, but I think there's something about the steps that ties in to everything going on in this house. Somebody asked, did somebody commit suicide or hang themselves in the basement? We don't have any documentation of that. The only ones we know for sure is here in the living room. Somebody hanged themselves in the kitchen. We have other reports that there were as many as 4 suicides in the house, but we don't know that for sure. From what we got last night with the spirit box and from what other feelings we've had, we think there may have been a suicide by hanging, or a death by hanging, I should say, on the staircase. So we're going to try to go into that a little more.
I have one last question for you, and then we end it. How was your first experience on the Ouija board last night?
Yeah, it was intense. I won't lie. It was kind of what I had been bracing for, just because it involved the Gonsfeld. So I was a lot more focused on Tim with the Gonsfeld and everything that was going on with him than I was with the Ouija. But we did get some responses with the Ouija. I think from everything that I've seen, that it lived up to what I was expecting. It was definitely, I mean, I wasn't moving it, and I don't think Tim was moving it, so it was good. It was a good experience. I'm glad I got to do it.
After doing it, has it changed any of your perceptions?
Yeah, I mean, when I first got into it, I always had heard a bunch of bad stuff about Ouijas and everything, and I'm sure everybody has, but the more I've done research and the more I've been in the field and just learned and opened myself up to it, I think it's just another tool. It's just like using a spirit box or anything. If you open yourself up to be interacted with, it doesn't matter if you're using a flashlight or a Ouija board. If there's something there and it wants to interact, it's going to do so. So I think it's an interesting tool, and it's a good way to collect evidence, but that's all it is. I don't think it's this crazy demon summoning thing that some people think it is.
All right, cool.
All right, thanks, guys.
There's one last question here.
Okay.
Sorry, just one last Twitter question. Plum Nice from Twitter, @PlumNice, says, what is the most terrifying event you have encountered so far as a group? And will you be conducting a group Gonsfeld experiment?
As a group, that's a good question. I'd say the Ouija Gonsfeld last night was probably it. Obviously, Tim was having experiences as he was using the Gonsfeld. Dave got his hair pulled, which he reacted to. Scotty's arm got extremely cold and got goosebumps. And then my hands, while using the Ouija, were just ice cold. So far that as a group, I mean, we all had experiences. why we were in that room, and so I'm sure we'll be doing stuff as a group together again, and hopefully we'll have some more good experiences.
Great. Thanks, JJ.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it. So we have David Spinks, who's going to be adjusting the light in 1 second here, so you can get a good shot of David's beautiful face.
I don't know about all that.
Handsome guy.
Hold on 1 second, guys.
Let me stand up.
Yeah. It's getting less.
Yeah.
She doesn't screw.
1 second, guys.
Hey, can you do me a favor? Just
Yeah.
hold up the couch or under
Your phone?
Yeah, if you see it.
Do you want to just, it's at,
Is it white? What
the
is it?
game's
Black.
black, so.
Oh,
Oh, shit, bro.
is it on there?
1 second, guys. We're just going to get Dave ready for his interview here.
Oh, shit, stop.
So weird. I didn't move from that room.
I don't see it, Scott.
Okay, thanks, brother.
When's the last time you had it?
Right, I never even left this room. Right on that couch.
Is that your black bag right there?
Yeah.
Maybe it's in there. Maybe you should put it in the stove. No. I
One
don't
thing I
know.
can remember, I sat on that couch you're on. It could be
Oh,
under.
here it is. It's in the crack of the in the crack of the
Thanks, buddy.
couch. That explains it. The couch ate it.
The couch ate it. That's typical for this house. Oh, we got lights. Alright, Dave, go into your final position. Yeah. Alright, Tim, we're all set.
Are you guys ready?
Yes. Yep.
Looking good, Dave.
Thank you.
So Dave, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself, because you're new on the team, and kind of how you got into the paranormal.
Sure. Hello, everybody. My name's Dave Spinks. I've been investigating the paranormal off and on for probably around 16 years now. Full time for about 2 years. I've been involved in it since I had an experience as a young kid. Saw my grandfather come to me in a dream, and I was worried about him. So the next day I called up to my grandma's house and found out he had died that night. So to me, you know, that was him coming to say bye. So I've always been questioning ever since then, you know, there must be something after we die. And I've been on the search for that, you know, try to get answers to that question ever since then. This is the third time I've investigated with Tim. I've been involved with JJ for almost 2 years now, and it's a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. And Tim and Scott, I just met Scott this time. They're great guys. I enjoy investigating with them. They're very knowledgeable in what they do, and I believe we're all in the search for the same thing. So I'm so happy to be here. I'm looking for this is a great place. What better place could you ask or venue to do a paranormal investigation as this house right here? It's unbelievable so far.
So, what's, you got here on Saturday or Sunday, right? Yeah, Sunday. Well, early Sunday
Yeah,
morning.
Sunday.
How does this place compare to other places that you've investigated?
Well, first of all, I mean, it's a great opportunity to get it to actually stay in a location for this long of a time that you're going to be investigating. As far as the activity goes so far, it's what I witnessed with Jonathan and Scott the first night I was here and stuff was, I mean, it blew me away. To see how they were affected both physically, mentally, and emotionally is, I've never even heard of anything like that before. I mean, it was amazing. It wigged me out to see them, because I've investigated with JJ numerous times and never ever seen him react in that fashion. Nowhere even close. It was unbelievable. And for him to be affected that dramatically, and I mean, it wigged me out. I have to say, honestly, it wigged me out. I was worried for him. After last night, what we all experienced, and just everything, when I sum it up all in my head, it's just unbelievable. With the EVPs and the Gons field and the whole Ouija board thing, with all of us were affected in different ways last night, but we all had an experience of one sort or another, and this house is off the chain when it comes to being haunted. If you ask me personally.
What do you think is haunting? If you were after a night of investigating here, what do you think is haunting the house?
Well, I feel personally, I mean, this is my own personal opinion, I definitely feel there's some sort of evil presence here, along with possibly numerous other types of spirits that may be possibly being held here for whatever reason, or they're stuck here for whatever reason. I think hopefully we'll find out more later during our investigations. We can maybe tie this in somehow and see how all this correlates, because there's definitely something to it. I mean, with all the stories we've read as far as the logs and the police, or not the police reports, but the newspaper articles and the history, it seems to be all leading the same direction. People are being affected in a huge negative way. There are numerous marriage, people having divorces, people turning into alcoholics, people committing suicide. From what I know in the paranormal, I mean, that's oppression. People are being oppressed that have lived in this location for whatever reason we don't know yet. That's what we do. That's what we try to figure out. So if we can get the evidence we need to maybe correlate and tie all this in together, I think it'll be it's going to be an amazing investigation. And then I think we're on our way there. We've just begun, and I think we're going to get into that more as we go.
What is your biggest fear?
My biggest fear is something maybe trying to possess me. I don't want to be affected like JJ was, or I saw what happened to Scott too, and that, I mean,
not in the paranormal, but
in the paranormal,
biggest fear, so we know.
I'm not too scared of much, but I don't want anything to happen to my family. I worry about my family the most, so.
Okay. I just thought, we should know. Last night we did something that I had to kind of drag you in the room. You didn't want to be in the room. We did the Ouija in Gonsville, and I had you there to document JJ's and I's session, and Scott was doing the video work. Why were you against being in the room, and what did anything during the session or afterwards change your perception?
I think initially, I didn't want to be in the room because all the negativity that is associated with a Ouija board. You have the Hollywood version. It seems that, the Hollywood version pumps it up as oh, if you use a Ouija board, you're automatically going to get possessed by a demon or some evil type of spirit or whatnot. And then there's documented cases, you know, of people using a Ouija board and possibly becoming possessed. So with all that tied in, you know, it's just it's possibly a fear I had, you know, of some sort. But in the paranormal, we know sometimes you have to try to overcome your fears in order to investigate and in order to. It's just another tool, you know. It's anything something can attach itself to you using a spirit box, a digital recorder, any type of equipment, because it's a conduit for spirits to utilize to talk with us. So, in a sense, I overcame my fear, you know, and I wasn't involved, but I was involved for you guys. I was there to document. I was there to make sure you were okay, you know, and then I got a better understanding of how it worked while I was in there. So it was very interesting to me.
Are there any questions?
Yeah. A person says, are we worried about things that are attaching to you when you leave the house and go home? No, because when we leave a site we investigated, we close it down, we physically and tell the spirits they're not allowed to follow us, you know, and they have to stay here and whatnot. We close it out and let them know we do not, you know, tolerate any kind of stuff like that. Call of Duty, are we calling out their names? Who's asking the questions, JJ?
Yeah.
Okay. Call of Duty 9677 says, are you ever scared if something you hear like a sound and no one there? Do you get scared? Of course, yeah. If no one's there and you hear a big boom or a thump, I mean, it's a little unnerving when you know no one's in the location but yourself. I mean, it's, for me, I want to go investigate it. I go see what it is, you know. I want to try to see what caused that sound. So there's times when, I mean, the hair will stand up on the back of your neck because you heard an unseen force or something makes a tremendous thump, bang, or whatever it may be.
Dave, I have one more question.
Have I ever been touched or scratched yet?
Yeah.
Yes, I have. I've been touched numerous times. I was scratched for the first time at a location I did here recently. Other than that, that's the only time I've really been scratched. My hair was pulled last night during the Gonsfield and the Ouija board session, which was pretty crazy. I've never had my hair pulled like that. I don't have much hair as it is, see? I mean, it took something to physically grab my hair, and I felt it be yanked, so it was pretty crazy.
Dave, how do you see the investigation going tonight?
Well, every night's a new night, and it's even, you know, I'm excited to see what we're going to get each and every time we do this. I'm enthusiastic about it. I'm like a sponge. I want to soak up everything we can get as far as, you know, paranormal evidence. That's what we do. I'm pumped about it.
Cool. Take one last question for Dave.
All right.
Go to Scott.
Somebody said, what would I do if I saw a full-bodied apparition? I would take pictures, talk to it, and I'd do whatever I could to document that, because that's like the granddaddy, you know?
Yeah.
That's what we want to see, you know? That's what we do this for. So, thanks for the question.
I would
Good
definitely
question.
run towards it.
Yeah, run towards it.
I would run away.
Hey, Dave, let's see here. So, yeah, I think we're pretty much done. Yeah. So we'll go on to Scotty now.
Okay, cool, guys. Thank
Want to
you.
give you shout-outs?
Yeah, shout out to my wife, Kimberly, Billy, my son, Cohen, Devin, everybody. See you guys later.
Want me to ask you questions, Scott? You got it? Want me to ask you questions? Or,
Yeah, whatever you want. Yeah, or I can. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, whatever. You know. So this is Scott Delilah.
Hey, Delilah.
Delilah.
Hey, everybody.
He is the. Use him out here once again. Okay, there we go. Let me. There we go. Yeah. It's ours engaged.
Do you have my best side?
Working on it.
It's so bright when I take a while. It's so bright when I look here. It's like I have to focus.
So this is Scott Delilah. Scott and I met a couple of years ago. He's a movie guy. He makes he directs movies, and he is a great investigator. So Scott, why don't you tell everybody about yourself?
Hey guys, I'm Scott. To add on what Tim said, I've been into the paranormal ever since I was a kid. Just loved ghost stories and doing small investigations, you know, like go to haunted places or haunted grounds and see if we can have an experience. Played a lot of Ouija board when I was young, had bad experiences, but always was intrigued by those stories, which led me to do my movie I Am Zozo, about the Ouija board demon called Zozo, which is pretty horrific. Other than that, it's just, I'm just so lucky to have run into Tim a few years back, and at the time I was heavily involved with my group, Shoreline Paranormal, in California. And through Patrick, who you guys probably know, he introduced me to Tim because we were partners in Shoreline, and I got a chance to do just incredible investigations with the group LiveSciFi, and yeah, over time we just, you know, we're now a pretty good team, and feel fortunate to investigate these places, especially this one, this crazy house. So Tim, let's see, what's up guys? Josh, my eyes have to adjust to this screen. Hey Tasha. So guys, why don't you ask me some questions? I'll read them from here and then answer them. Shoot.
Somebody wants to know, do you think something evil is keeping souls trapped there?
Okay, hold on to that one. I missed this one. From Digger, what do you think of ghost hunting TV shows? Love it or hate it? You know what? I just love the paranormal, and so it's just it's an outlet for me. I mean, there's some shows that are better than others, and there's definitely times I get frustrated when I do feel it's produced in certain times, but overall it's ghost related. It's something I love, and it's a way for me to you know, feed, to sort of absorb the content, whether it's bad or not. It's entertainment at times, and then in other times I feel it's legit and spooky. And what was the other question?
Somebody wanted to know if you think there's something evil keeping spirits trapped here.
Yeah, I really think there's something evil in this house, something very negative. It's the first time that I ever really felt this heaviness of negativity in a house. And it's the first time I really felt like the house was watching you. I usually feel like there's something watching you, like a spirit. This is the first time I really felt like the walls and every inch of the house has an energy, a negative energy, and it's watching you and observing you. And preys on you, and it has to me. What's up, Heather? Let's see, what do you do on this investigation? Admiral, I'll call you Mr. Admiral. On this investigation, since this house is so active, I really hope to get some solid evidence. We have been getting some amazing evidence already, but that's one of my hopes, is to really for us as a team to nail some, to get some great evidence to share with everyone. The worst thing that has happened to me, Linda, is the other night was close to the worst thing. But I would say the scariest thing, when I felt like my life was in danger, and it happened at the Sally house. I got choked at the Sally house while I was sleeping, and I couldn't breathe at all. I woke up and I couldn't breathe, as if I was choking on food, and I was kneeling in the middle of the floor, and I was just trying to get my breath, panicking. You know, I thought I was dying, and I was crawled over to Tim, who's on the couch next to me, and I'm hitting Tim, and he wakes up, and he has this look on his eyes. He wasn't concerned. He just looked at me and stared at me, and as I was choking or gasping for air, I was thinking, why isn't he, nervous? And so when I finally got air in my lungs, I asked him, the first thing I asked him if I was dying, and he just shook his head. And then when I got air in my lungs, I was like, how come you weren't nervous? And he said it happened to him 30 minutes ago. So that was like, it really became real. Like sometimes if I feel chills, like my mind can say, hey, is it a spirit or is it in my head? This was the first time in a long time, like something happened to me so horrific. I was scared. I was scared for my life. Yep. Pedro, yes, I have been scratched. I haven't been scratched here. I've been scratched at the Sally house. Here it's more of an emotional, psychological reaction. But at the Sally house I was scratched and bit. I had this weird bite mark on my back. Here, however, I'm having something totally different happen to me. I'm almost feeling, as at times when I'm investigating, I'm almost feeling what the spirits felt, the ones who were suffering from despair, and the ones who committed suicide. I think I'm feeling what they felt probably before they committed suicide. And I say that because I never have a feeling of deep despair or a feeling of wanting to cry or choke or been choking up and water in my eyes. And that's what happened to me the other night, like a wind or this. I went from a normal position of shooting, excited to try to capture some evidence, to a feeling of something going through me, and I was filled with tears. And almost like in my head as I was shooting, it's like, am I going to cry? It's like, I'm not sad of anything in particular. And sure enough, I couldn't resist, and I was holding it back. I had dropped the camera, and I started to. I think I was crying. It's messed up.
Scott, what's your deepest, darkest personal fear?
My deepest, darkest personal fear, probably losing control. Control has always been control with not control like I want to dictate, but control of my emotions, losing control of who I am, losing control of my sanity. That to me is pretty frightening. Thanks, Lori. She loves my dimples. Do I have dimples?
Your nipples?
My dimples.
Oh, you dimples.
Do you think, from Janice, do you think the ghost that was killed or hung, do you think he's attached to you? You know what? I don't think so. I was a little worried when I felt I got attacked the other night. Part of the relief of being away as time went on was that I really felt that I was myself. I really felt nothing attached itself to me. And I'm pretty strong inside, and I hope it's because of that strength. But I was a little worried that something after that experience, that something could have attached itself to me. But as of now, I don't feel that. How I got myself calm, Glenda, in that situation, I really took a moment. You'll probably see it in the video, but after I came to, so to speak, I didn't pass out or I didn't black out. But when I came to, when I was collecting myself and just going through a process of what's going on with me, I took a couple of deep breaths and I said to myself, actually, where am I? I'm Scott. I'm feeling this. You know, just going through a normal checklist to see if I'm all there. And after accompanied with that, going through that checklist, I also felt back to normal. And quickly, I became optimistic again and felt normal. Do I think there are spirits of children here? For some reason, and I forgot if the document suggested that, but I do feel, for some reason I feel there's a little girl here. I'm not sure why, but I do feel there's a child spirit here. The video happened, Velvet, before we went live, but we're gonna put it together and put it up as a little webisode so you guys can see it real soon in a few days. How do I feel about the basement? The basement, I went down there alone to film when I first got here, and I'll be honest, now that I'm thinking back at it, I felt that feeling of getting choked up. It's kind of cool. It's kind of interesting. The deeper I went, it was towards the rear of the basement. That's where I started to feel I was running out of breath. I was choking up. I didn't feel like I was going to cry at that moment. I didn't have tears in my eyes, but I was getting a little bit of that feeling right here, and it just felt hard to talk. Like I felt like I kept needing to take a breath. So for me, it's the rear of the basement that. Actually, where that what do you call it? The EMF readings were so high.
Oh yeah.
And so yeah, the basement. The basement's creepy anyway. Just, I mean, look at it. It's a basement, but in this house, it's amplified. Xenia, yeah, people, it's a good question. Xenia wanted to know if I feel this place is more evil than the Sally house. I think for me, I feel like, and I said this yesterday, I think the Sally house to me feels like the bed and breakfast now. Even though I got choked in the Sally house, there's something terrible in this house. Terrible. And my director is giving me the sign. The music's playing. Okay, guys, thank you. And Tim's next.
We'll take one more question.
Oh,
yeah.
One more question. Yeah. Where did I get the holy water?
Make sure you say the name.
Yep. Janice. Janice is asking, where did I get the holy water? Got it from my mom. And I want to thank my parents because they gave me their car. After I flew in from LA, they gave me their car, and she gave me holy water, her most powerful bottle. So I feel pretty protected.
Powerful. That's such like an East Coast way to say it.
Sorry about my accent. So, all right, guys, thanks a lot.
Any shout-outs?
Okay, so shout-outs, just general shout-outs. I already did to my parents, my buddies in LA, the VVMC, I got
What's
Zach.
The VVMC?
VVMC, I'm part of a motorcycle club called Venice Vintage Motorcycle Club. It's in Los Angeles. So hello to those guys, to Zach, my boy, to Ben. I'm going to forget the one, they're going to get pissed. Shoreline Paranormal, blah, blah, blah. God, thank you, God. See. And that's it. Thanks, guys. So Tim, how do you want to start off?
You can ask me questions if I get stuck.
It's so hard to go from the light to the white screen.
Yeah, I'm just gonna JJ.
Okay, hold on a second.
Can't see out there. I need stronger glasses now.
Okay, you are all set.
All right, hey everybody, this is Tim from LiveSciFi.tv. I've been doing this for a long time in terms of doing the shows and stuff, and we've been at the Warren House now, JJ and I, for about 5 days. This is going to be our 5th night, and really looking forward to what's going to transpire tonight. It's been kind of a crazy train ride the last couple of ever since we've been here. Been experiencing a lot of activity, and like Scott said, this place is it's a lot different than activity at the Sally House. When I first found out about the location, I didn't really know what we were getting ourselves into. I didn't really know the extent of the activity because it had been vacant for so long, and no paranormal team since the 70s and 80s had been out here to investigate it. When we arrived, we pretty much got a whole binder full of information, which really spooked me out, and we really didn't read through the information until the following morning, when we had already experienced a lot of the same accounts that people had experienced 20 years before. And just kind of looking forward to seeing what's going to transpire over the next couple of days, and actually not a couple of days, a whole month. So yeah, we're just kind of hunkered down in here. Probably gonna have pizza tonight, so if anybody wants to come over and have a pizza party with us, you guys are more than welcome to come by. Last night we did an experiment, the Gonsfield and Ouija, with JJ, and JJ has never been on a Ouija before, so he was kind of spooked out. And my main intent for the experiment was, one, to try to figure out what exactly is going on in the house, not just by what other people in the past have said, but also try to come up with our own ideas and of what's going on here. And we had right off the bat, it seemed like it was something very negative. When I was doing it, I don't know why, it seemed to have this visual type of connection with activity, but and also physical connection. And at one point, I didn't know if I was, in this kind of dreamlike state when I do that. But there was a point where I saw this kind of claw-like thing playing this really creepy song. And it was right in this area, actually. There were maybe like 5 dead people, I think I said. And I could see the kind of an old school phonograph type right here. And the demon was actually playing the phonograph with one of his like claw-like nails. And then I looked over at the dead people. It was really strange because sometimes I don't know if you call it visions, or I'm sensitive to seeing stuff, but sometimes I do see stuff, like when Dave and I were in Virginia City, and these weren't like normal dead people. For some reason their eyes were like washed out with like a kind of like a granite type of white stone, and it was like they were almost being controlled by the entity. So based off of my experiences here so far, I do believe that there is an overpowering kind of negative type of, I guess you can call it a demonic entity in here that kind of controls all the spirits in here, and basically it drives the living to do what it wants so it can later control them, either by committing suicide or ruining their lives. So in many ways, like Dave and JJ and I, when we were out getting some stuff today, we were talking, and I think that this in many ways is its own kind of hell house for the trap souls in here. So anyways, yeah, tonight we're going to be doing some, probably do the Ouija in Gonsfield again. A lot of people think it's kind of crazy, but for me it's all about getting the experience in, and I'm not so much worried about attachment issues. That's just me. So I'll go ahead and take a couple questions. I'm trying to keep up with looks like the chat's lagged. Yeah, pizza. We're going to have Pizza Hut tonight, so should be pretty good. Kind of lactose intolerant, so I might be in and out of the stream tonight. So, yeah, on that note, do you guys have any questions? Or
somebody wants to know, if you knew what you know now about the house, would you have taken the investigation?
I would have, yeah, but I would have made the people that I'm investigating with, I would have cautioned them in coming out, because it's one of my biggest fears is that bringing people to a location and having them do something that they wouldn't do. Like, I had an investigator back in 2010 who was a good friend of mine, and he killed himself. So that's always, it wasn't anything due to paranormal, but you never know. But that kind of ran through my mind with JJ I'm not saying that he wouldn't do that, but it's just that immediately came into my head. So is there any other questions? Or this chat here is just completely...
I know a lot of people earlier were asking about your scratches and everything that happened with that last night.
Yeah, the scratches, I think were caused by that entity upstairs, or the entity in the house. And they're almost gone. Like most scratches, like, when you get them on an investigation, they last for, a couple of hours, and then they start to kind of like, normally when you get a scratch or something like that, they just, you gotta have it for like a week. You can just scab over and stuff. But these scratches were, when you get scratches that are caused by an entity or something like that, they normally recede within a couple of days. You guys, I want to apologize to the people that were twittering last night, because my Twitter broke down. I guess there was just too many tweets coming in. I didn't know that it broke down. So tonight I downloaded a new app, so we should be on top of all the tweets. And let's see, I'm trying. Okay. So what's the battle plan for tonight? The battle plan for tonight is we're going to introduce the Dybbuk box into this house. And the Dybbuk box, for those that don't know, is a Jewish pretty much containment box for a negative demonic entity. And I'm not sure, we opened it at the Sally house, and we had some activity, but with the activity in this house, that seems to be mostly targeted towards Christian and Jewish faith. I think by introducing something like that into this house, could really yield some really interesting evidence that we could document. Today, when the UPS driver dropped off the package, he seemed like he was just ready to tell me something that was happening in his truck with the box, but he kind of looked at me kind of strange, and yeah, so it didn't look like, he looked kind of weirded out by what was in the box. I didn't tell him, of course, what was in it, but that was kind of interesting. Let's see here. If you encounter demonic energy in the house, what are your plans in dealing with it? Our plans basically are, everyone here has their own faith, and everyone here is grounded to their, however they ground themselves. And, we'll just tackle it, like we did at the Sally house. We have holy water. We have, everyone here, I think, is Catholic. So we'll just tackle it with ourselves. We're all pretty strong. Unfortunately, with these types of forces, no matter how, my belief is, no matter how strong and grounded are in your faith, you really can't, you can't tell something not to attack you. And that's, or you don't know, if it's going to try to possess you or not. You could be the strongest person in faith, and there's been people, even priests and nuns, who have been possessed. who are the people of the strongest faith, and they have their personal demons and personal demons that they have. So it's just that you never know. We did bring the Connect thing, so we will try that probably tomorrow. JJ and Dave are going to be in the house by themselves on Thursday or Friday and Saturday night, so hopefully they'll make it. So yeah, basically every day we're going to be doing this. We're going to be updating our experiences, and we're going to be posting up evidence clips on the YouTube, and we're going to be seeing what we get. So at this time, I'm going to take one more question. What's the type of protection I use? Well, I prefer condoms. Yeah, I have a spiritual condom. I call it a spiritual condom. All right, so we're gonna actually hold the Jacob's Ladder, I think, for like a week, and I believe that it might actually just kind of disorganize energy and fragment it. And if we do get like severely attacked or something like that, I think it might be a good way to use it as a cleansing tool as opposed to a manifestation tool. Yeah, we did a really good show. Noreen had a really good guest from the New Orleans Voodoo Museum, and he answered some really good questions about some of the things that were found in this house. So if you guys are interested in voodoo and really learning the real truth about the religion and its practices, I would definitely check out that video. It's on our page. I don't know. I had no idea. It could perhaps be a Jewish deity, maybe a Jewish demon. It could also be Jewish and Christianity are kind of interwoven, so it could be some type of deity that has grudges between both religions. Are you going to do future shows? Rome, our Barmy asks, are you going to do future shows from your apartment again? No, I hope I never have to do that. It's like, yeah, it's pretty hard doing it from my apartment. Yeah. God, it's so hard. Are we sending position and thoughts? Yeah, once again, I just want to thank all of the viewers who support and watch the show. Without you guys, we would not be able to do this. So, I want to thank everybody out there, and especially Cloud. There's a person by the name of Cloud. I know you're out there, buddy. I see Cloud Proud 2013, who's been really proactive in posting screen caps on our forums. And if you guys haven't, I would definitely check out our forums at forums.livescifi.tv. He started a thread on there on the house, and has been really good about posting up the viewer evidence and stuff like that. So I really want to commend Cloud and anyone else out there, like Wendy, Beautiful Evil, who sent over a text of basically of what she captured on her phone. Also, you guys, if you guys are interested in learning a little bit about what we're experiencing here, you can go to our main website, LiveSciFi.tv, and you can read about our investigators, because we have a little journal entries every day about kind of what's going on in our heads and what's going on at the house. So very cool. And I want to tell everyone out there who might be encountering this type of activity or any type of paranormal activity in your home, one of the most important things that you can do is to document and to write a journal of your experiences, whether it's a video journal or a written journal. It's very important, because over time, the brain kind of puts things in the wrong places, and you can often even forget some really important aspects to a haunting. And I'll just sum this up here. JJ and I, with the stuff that we had experienced, the kind of withdrawal, the social withdrawal from the rest of the team, even for me last night, kind of coincides with some of the previous owners' experiences who had committed suicide here and who had pretty much lost their whole family from living in this house. So, yeah. But anyways, what we're going to do right now, you guys, is we're going to run the static cams up until 9 o'clock Eastern time. And then we are going to see you guys tonight at 9 o'clock sharp. All right, you guys, have a good night and eat some food, and we'll see you guys later. Peace. All right. Oh, go to the next YouTube player. All right.
Yeah, I think that's what some people have problems with. They don't understand. They go to the next YouTube.
Yeah.
I saw a couple comments on that.